Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to my YouTube channel, kivatutor@gmail.com. I hope you had a wonderful day today. Good to see you and good to have you watching me on my channel. Alright, quickly, in my previous video, I had a shoot about chemistry NECO practical 2026, and that was precisely on how to prepare a reagent. But in this video, we'll be looking at chemistry NECO practical 2026 on salt analysis. Now remember, in chemistry we have what we call quantitative analysis and qualitative analysis. Now it interests you to know that in quantitative analysis we are looking at titration precisely, when we are able to titrate an acid against a base in order to observe the endpoint. But in the case of qualitative analysis, it has to do with determination of the component of a salt sample, or determination of a compound. Of course, remember that salt is a compound. So when we carry out qualitative analysis, which is also called salt analysis, what are we looking for? We are looking out to identify the different constituent or component which can either be cation or anion present in a particular sample. Now, in this year NECO practical, of course, we have been given a salt sample called copper 2 sulfate. Now, it is only me as a teacher that is aware that the sample given to us is copper 2 sulfate. Mind you, to the students, they will be given that sample in a specimen bottle, and it will be labeled sample C. Now, why is it labeled sample C? It is assumed that sample is not yet known to the students. So it is in the course of carrying out the different procedures stated by the examiner that they are going to know that sample contains so and so ion, either cation or anion, and that is the essence of carrying out the salt analysis. Now, our copper 2 sulfate, like I earlier told us, is a salt. Of course, by the time we carry out this analysis, we are going to discover that it contains both copper 2 ion and sulfate ion. That is cation and what? And ion as the component of this copper 2 sulfate. Now, this is the instruction that has been given to us to carry out the practical. First, we are asked to carry out the following exercise on sample C. What is sample C? Remember, I told us earlier before now that our sample C is our copper 2 sulfate. So we are expected to carry out the following exercise on sample C. First, add 5 cm cube of distilled water to sample C in a test tube and shake. Why are we shaking it? We are shaking it so that probably if that salt was a soluble salt, it can be able to dissolve evenly in that solution. Then A, divide the resulting solution into 3 portions. Now to the first portion, add sodium hydroxide in drops and in excess, to tell us that by the time you add in drops, you will see a particular type of chemical reaction. Then when you add in excess, you are also going to see what? A particular type of chemical reaction. And that is the reason why in our table we have what we call observation and what? Inference. So by the time you add in drops, you are going to observe some changes. By the time you also add the excess, you are also going to observe some change which shall be recorded subsequently. Now, to the second portion, add ammonia in drops and in excess in the same sequential process that I earlier told us. Then to the third portion, add boron chloride followed by dilute what? Hydrochloric acid. Now, let me just tell us that in carrying out this SWOT analysis, there are some reagents that are used as a confirmatory test, like that of ammonia. Ammonia is used for confirmatory tests in regards to what? Copper 2 ion, whereas hydrochloric acid is used for confirmatory tests in regard to sulfate ion. Now, this is our table, and this table encompasses test, observation, and what? Inference. So we're going to carry out the test quickly to say, teachers, please, I will advise you to look closely or in-depthly to what I'm going to do now. Here is our sample. Our sample is called copper 2 sulfate. Now, this is copper 2 sulfate. Copper 2 sulfate, you dish out they call it spatula full. Okay, it should be full. Dish it out into the test tube. Okay, then the next step is that we are expected to add 5 centimeter cube of distilled water. Already, this is my distilled water. I've already transferred it to beaker for easy transfer. So I will now measure 5 cm cube. Please let me confirm if this is actually distilled water with my litmus paper. Please permit me, because I've carried out some practical today, so that I will not do the wrong thing.